Of course. Miller starts getting ready to bark as soon as I go live. Come on, Miller. No. Come on. Alright. Rough start, but oh, it is a Monday. And today we're going to take it easy and just do some crochet. Because I haven't crocheted in a while. And I want to. So we're starting out with a little magic circle. And we're gonna put on, I want to say 8 is the number we go with here. Who knows. Working with a very lightweight yarn here. Made from bamboo viscose. Alright, and with that, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Well, how'd I do that? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Somehow I slipped an extra one in there. That is why we count. So just to do a quick explanation of what we're doing here, we are making a dice bag, and the pattern is super simple. We start by working in the round the normal way that we'd do a circle, which is to start with a magic circle cast on, and then work in 8 double crochets, followed by joining in the round as normal, and then working every sequential row, increasing um, it by 8 stitches every single row in an equal distribution. With the main thing being that we're going to rotate or flip sides every turn, every row, so that it doesn't end up as a octagon. And then that's going to create our base. And oh, hey, Kelp. And then after we're done working the base, we're going to work the turn, which is going to involve reducing the number of stitches we're increasing every row, as well as doing a turn at a certain point by working on 1/2 of the stitches. Hey, April. It's an extreme crochet stream. You're just trying to make a portmanteau there, Kelp. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, I might honestly be a little bit off with my count here as to how many of these I should be making. I can never remember on a double crochet. Yep, there's a problem right there. Well, that's making it a little bit cupped because we're doing only 8 increases a row. But since this is going to be a dice bag, I think that'll work in our favor. So I'm going to ignore that flaw. And we're just going to work into the next row. Yeah, I do seem to have a mild issue of the fact that I keep forgetting my patterns because I keep taking long breaks between crocheting to do like painting or something else. So bear with me as I remember how to do what I'm doing. How goes whatever y'all are up to in Discord there? Playing Dwarf Fortress, I take it? Orphan. As well as Dwarf Fortress can go. Did one of your dwarves accidentally fill the bedroom chamber with lava again? Or whatever goes on in that game? Honestly, my only exposure to that game has been the random video game comics I've seen about it, like XKCD and SMBC. And it seems like one of those games that has insane emergent gameplay due to how simple it is, but how flexible it is. And it could entirely be my jam, I just do not have the time for it right now. I still have a resin printer I have to set up. Jesus. So like old school Minecraft, but worse. Herding cats. I don't know anything about that. Definitely not us trying to get game nights together or anything. I say as my Jackbox games gather dust. When have I ever been wrong, April? The realization hit me that I was doing the last row's pattern, so we're just gonna roll this back a bit. I am definitely awake right now. I promise that. Because you only increment circles in this pattern the, the same amount you do every total. So for this particular one, only 8 increases per row, no matter how large the row is. Um, the more you expand outwards, the more spaced out those increases have to be. So on this row, I have to do 2 normals between every increase. Oh yeah, God. Ripping back crochet is just, or ripping back knitting is just a nightmare. Meanwhile, crochet is just like, oh, flip. Just pull it back out and stop it whenever you feel like it. Given how many mistakes I make, crochet has definitely emerged as a favorite. Also, hi Wooloo. How's everybody's Monday going so far? Well, we're glad to have you here. Making a dice bag. Because I've got this, all these By Pride yarns, and I haven't used enough of them yet. God, I know that feeling. Coming back to work on the Monday after vacation is... today was a day I really wanted to just sleep in. Damn straight they are, Keld. Damn straight they are. Only the best things for us. You might see me stopping every now and then to just stare at my piece, and that's because I have to recount how many stitches in I'm into the pattern, because normally I count aloud 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, so that I remember uh, when my increases are. But didn't think you guys want to listen to that sort of ASMR tonight. So I'm just having to do it mentally. I'm sure there's somebody out there that wants some crochet pattern ASMR. Today's current challenge is the fact that I'm working with some of the smallest yarn I have ever worked with. Oops. Accidentally let that get loose. Typically I work in worsted weights, and this stuff is much closer to a fingerling weight or a sock weight. So I'm working with a 3.5mm needle on this. And it's a bit difficult for my big beefy hands. Just got these big old chunky sausages. Yeah, it's probably part of the reason I get so many repetitive stress injuries. That I'm always doing such intricate work with my hands. Plus all that IT stuff I do. But, just proof of a life well lived, you know? Although, if Patch, Witch, and Merlin were here, they'd be screaming at me for doing this to myself. Don't tell them. You wouldn't dare, Wooloo. Tell you what, one thing I really need to do is get another stream setup going in my basement so I can use this time to work on my weaving projects too. I think that'd be fun for y'all to watch. I definitely need to give my loom some love. Yep. Weaving in the basement like a real criminal. So, Wulu, have you been thinking about what you're going to do next year for Desert Bus? Haunted by it. Up all night about it. I'm still working on mine. I've got a couple ideas that I've narrowed it down to. Um, Let me just start this row off real quick. So, first idea, of course, is doing up a set of like stained glass panel laser burn print paintings, sort of like this here Kingdom Hearts, and try to get like say 10 of them, so that it's a nice big set that somebody could hang across a wall. The other idea is, since I've now got that resin 3D printer, take and assemble a model of the Destiny weapon, uh, the Sleeper Simulant, uh, put that all together and paint it up so that it looks like the real thing, including all of my professional metallics and all that. Because replica weaponry always goes well. So it's one of those two. Got all winter to think about it. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. All right, I think this is going to be the last row for the circle, and then we'll move into the purple and start into um, doing the walls of the bag. The Thwomp person. I mean, you've knit socks before, right, Wooloo? 2, 3. I'm just thinking you could do up like custom handmade sock sets. Like if you do any like tapestry knitting or something like that, you could do up like a set of 4 main characters from Mario. I lost count again. Where am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I was supposed to double that one. Right? Yeah, 4 between each. Or maybe you could go a little more weebish and like make some Studio Ghibli socks. That'd be pretty cool. Get yourself some Totoros and Panyos in sock form. Ooh, wingding scarf. Plenty of time to figure it out. You could always hit up Amethy for that information. Maybe y'all can do a hangout in the Snorch and Chill chat. We could have a fiber arts day in Snorch and Chill. God, the nerve of this yarn constantly splitting on me. Not nearly as bad as the Lily Sugar and Cream, but still, oof. I think that was my favorite part of them introducing my blanket on Desert Bus. Was there was a couple people in that chat that were like, "Wait, they made it out of Lily Sugar and Cream? What nut jobs?" Yeah, mad lad. Definitely glad my well, all of our projects did so well this year. Yours especially there, Wooloo. I don't remember how much yours went for in total, but you did a really good job on that. Oh yeah, and they can only fit so many giveaways in. Oh yeah, the Ultra Strat of B. Jacob. It's actually a lot nicer working in like trying to do a hexagon or a octagon with this sort of thing, because typically you see a natural bunching of your increases. Makes it a lot easier to know when you're supposed to increase on the next row. Like this, it's meant to be indistinguishable where you're increasing, so it makes it a bit harder. Mood. Alright, we're going to be swapping colors here, so gonna grab my scissors, give the bluest snip. And then to make this a nice, clean transition, we do the pull through as the new color. Work up our 2 stitches and then pull these 2 tight. And then get back to work. Just gonna do a overhand knot real quick, just to cinch these 2 into place. Make it a little easier for me. Oh, and since I'm gonna be working in the round here, I don't need to flop on rows anymore, so that's gonna be nice. And I don't have to worry about increasing anymore. I think I might have, yeah, accidentally doubled that up. Talking about how easy this is while I'm messing it up. There we go. There we go. So now it should be smooth sailing from here on out. And a little bit more brainless. Now normally I would have done what I'd call a turn, which is, so if you see, right now I'm working into both sides of the crochet stitch. If I wanted it so that it would only, so that it would have a nice crease where I want the turn to happen, I would only work into half of it, and that would give it more of a leverage point to lay flat as a bag. But since we established earlier, I used a base level of stitches that led to a cupping. We're just going to let it curve naturally. And since I've been talking a bit, everybody take a quick hydration break. I've got my nice soda water from my kegerator here. And because I've been drinking soda water for over a year now, I can't drink regular water anymore. It doesn't taste right. Oh, what a curse I've put on myself. April, I know you're still listening. You better be drinking water over there. I know you're always thirsty. Because I'm magic, April. You know this. I'm telling you that's not proper hydration. Also, that's not a meal. You better also be eating. April, no. Bad. Don't make me tell Fen. You know what's good for you? Bread. Go get bread, April. I mean, it's basically the same thing there, April. It solved both the problems. Alright, that is the first row of purple down. And with that, I think this is a perfect time for us to take our first break of the night. So everybody get up, stretch, refill your drinks, empty yourself, swap your legs out, do a little dance, all that good stuff, and we'll be back here in about 4 minutes. Alright, and we are back. Hope everybody used their break well. Big shout out to community friend Cuddly Katie for getting Eorzea Hopebot set up in my chat, so that we can do silly things like the self-cares, or thing they did personally for me. Because the constant in-joke is that I am an Omnicrafter, and thus I have a command now that randomly says something about one of my 3 dozen hobbies. And strangely enough, so far it's been pretty accurate as to what I was doing at the given moment that the command was utilized. Aside from this one time. Maybe it's only accurate when it's used in Julie's Discord. This yarn really likes to strand on me. Not particularly happy about that, but we'll make do. I first heard this song back in the early 2010s. I had no idea that these boys were going to become as popular as they are now. I mean, I'm happy for it. Definitely do enjoy me some K-pop these days. Always fun to look back on how things play out. That's going pretty good. About halfway through our second color here. Still deciding how many rows I want to do for the purple. Because in general, I think if you look at purple or by pride flags, the purple tends to be a bit smaller than the blue and the red. Actually, take a second to get an idea. And then once we get into, now this is more of a pink, but it'll work for our purpose. Once we get into the pink, then we'll be in the home stretch, and the only change to the pattern is an alternating system of um, chains instead of double crochets, creating little holes that we can then feed um, a cord through to work as a drawstring. So yeah, it's going well. We should actually be able to finish this bag all in one stream, I think. Definitely think I like projects that I can do in one stream more than multi-stream ones. Like that Kingdom Hearts painting I'm not even done with. It's kind of gathering dust at this point, and I really should finish it during like a boring meeting this week or something. But then there was also that Nalgene bag that I tried doing over the course of 2 or 3 streams, and that just took too long, so I ended up switching to painting minis. So yeah. Be a lot better if I could just finish this all up in one go. Even if I have to go a little bit overtime today. One problem with crochet streams is I don't really have much to talk about. At least with painting streams, I can just espouse color theory and painting principles at you, but really with crochet, it's just a lot of doing the same simple techniques over and over again until it forms something cool and functional. I don't really have any time to get into the weeds with concepts and stuff about it. Alright, let's take a quick look at the Buy Pride flag and see where I want to. Oh yeah, the purple is much smaller. It's like half the width of either the magenta or the blue. So yeah, I think actually stopping at 3 rows for this would probably be for the best, since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish rows of blue already exist. That should give us actually a pretty good size for the bag still. So let's do that. We're gonna well, sadly, Keld, in a lot of aspects of society, the butt gets hidden. We all want to see the butt a bit more. Alright, and just like last time, gonna use our magenta as our pull-through color. Gonna pull up 2 chains, like we're starting the next row. Gonna cinch those 2 off, 2 tails off, so that they'll stay placed while we start working the first row. Then we just get right back into it. Other crocheters will try to work the tails in as they go. I find that just it's a little too complicated on smaller projects like this, so I'll just weave them in afterwards when I'm done doing all the actual crochet work. But here we go, we're off to the races with our new color. We'll do 4 rows normally, and then on the 5th row we'll do alternating spaces of chains and actual crochets. We'll have to count it out so that we get an even number of holes in the pattern, and then we'll do 1 final row of regular double crochets over top, and then we'll cinch it off. this year is one of my favorite um, women's K-pop groups. And I'm kind of disappointed. I had a chance to go see them in concert in Chicago here this year, but I ended up not going because I couldn't get anyone to go with me. Seems like it would have been a good time. I didn't actually even know you at that point there, Killed. But I appreciate the thought. But yeah, they've got some amazing choreography. One of their best songs, actually, "Wannabe," ended up as a routine on Just Dance 2023 here, and they actually, I don't know when they changed it up in the series, but they actually did the proper dance. You know how it used to be with Just Dance, they would do really watered down, like super easy versions or custom choreography that really didn't fit to the original choreography of the song. But now they actually have the full routines in the game. I actually appreciate that a lot more. Kind of makes me want to actually pick up the game so I can do some of them. Because they've got like BTS's Boy with Love with Halsey. They've got ITZY's Wanna Be, more from KDA. Like a whole bunch of good songs with amazing choreography. Nothing else would be a good way to exercise. Yeah, the bread machine is definitely not helping my case. It's way too easy to make a delicious loaf of bread every day. Today I just made up some white French bread with basil infusion and dipped that in a mix of marinara sauce, oil, and drizzled with balsamic vinegar, and that was whew, too good. Just dangerously good. Oh, and there was a little bit of shredded Parmesan in there too. So, just all the things that are delicious and terrible for my waistline. Also, hey Eric, figure you were probably lurking there, but yeah, thanks for joining in tonight. How are your Dark Souls playthrough going lately? I haven't had a chance to tune in. Still doing double shield runs? Nice. I really need to get around to getting DS3. Ever since Elden Ring, I was like, oh, I guess this formula actually does work for me. Oh shit, now I've actually got to go back and play the other ones. Sure, not having guard counters is going to be a bit of a hurdle for me. But jumping won't be much of an issue because I didn't actually really jump much in Elden Ring. If only they'd go on sale for once. Oh, what happened to my Spotify? Says it's still playing. Well, that's weird. Oh well. Computer decided to be weird for a second there. Yeah, I did the same thing with Elden Ring and Monster Hunter Rise, because Sunbreak came out right in the middle of when we were all playing Elden Ring. So I kept trying to do Elden Ring actions in the Monster Hunter, and it just was not working. What did I do to myself over here? Red splitting is killing me. Now, thinking about video games, I finally got around to watching all of the video game awards recast with Loading Ray run there. And sad to say, I don't really think there are any video games on the horizon that I'm super excited for. Like, of all of those trailers they showed off, they're all just kind of meh to me right now. Armored Core, I think might be fun. I'd have to wait and see. Maybe watch some old gameplay of the rest of the series. Like the idea of a customizable mech sounds cool. I'm not huge on roguelites. Um, like I love the aesthetic of Hades too. I just uh, I don't like having to constantly redo my progress. I mean, I'll happily watch somebody else play it, sure, but I'm not playing that. Um, Baldur's Gate 3, it's I love me some Dungeons and Dragons, but after the last few iterations of Larian Studios games, I don't like the way that they do RPGs. I don't think they balance them properly enough, and they feel a little too linear to me. So I'm not particularly excited about it, especially the fact that they put it into early access so early. So it's forever gonna have that half-baked feel in my head. Um, a lot of PS5 exclusives I'll never touch because I haven't owned a PlayStation since the first one. So yeah, just not a lot on the table for me in this current wave. Which is kind of disappointing, but at the same time, maybe a little relief. Uh, Nice not to be expecting to sink 3 months of game time into one game, one AAA game that I'm super hyped for. Maybe actually tackle some of my backlog. Wishful thinking, I know, but excuse me for 1 second while I blow my nose. I tell you, that winter congestion is killing me. I think I'm gonna have to check the hygrometers in my house, see if I need to get some humidifiers running or something. Because my nose is not doing great. There's that song I mentioned, Wanna Be by ITZY, that's in Just Dance. Definitely recommend y'all checking out their dance choreography for this one. It's a goodie. Alright, and that is row 4 of magenta done. Which means there's only 2 more rows left to go, and I think now it's a good time for one more break of the night. So everybody, do that self-care. Exclamation mark self-care. Yep, there you go. So we'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes. Everybody get up, stretch your legs, take some water, take some meds, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in a few. Alright, I managed to find my congestion med, so hopefully I'll be a little less sniffly for the rest of the stream. Should only be going another 30 minutes or so, assuming I can get this bag done. We'll see. This is where the pattern makes its final change. I'm going to start with a normal, and then we're going to chain one, and then we're going to skip the next, and work into the second, and then chain one, skip, work into the second, and repeat that as much as we can to the end. Oop. Dang stranding. And these will create holes, which you can see already, that'll let us run a drawstring through. And then in the last few stitches from the end, we'll go ahead and count how many holes we have, so we can decide whether or not to add more up until the end or to leave some as full stitches. So that we end up with an even number, because we need as many stitches for it to go into the bag as for it to come out. Alright, now for counting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Let's just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Alright, so now can we fit an even number of holes into the remaining section? I don't think we can. So we're just going to end up filling in these remaining 2 stitches with solid ones. So, and so we're just going to have a little section where, yeah, it's going to bunch up a bit more in there, but that's fine. Better than having an odd number of holes. Take that as you will. Then we're just working in normal row after, treating the holes as stitches, and then working in under the normal stitches as normal. And this row is actually easier than others, sort of in the same way that granny squares are actually really easy when you do the proper granny stitch, because you're not fiddling with trying to get your needle in the right place for half these stitches. It just goes right in the hole. Just stick it in the hole. Just put it right in the hole, Wooloo. Or as Julie likes to say, just stick it in your face. Just put it in your mouth. Though it might look good to taste. Alright, and that's our last stitch, so now we can loop the round in. And chain one. Snip the, whoops, smack my lamp. Snip this, pull her taut. There we go. Definitely ended up looking a little bit more pink because of the bottom being less visible when it's sitting down, but I still think it looks good. Holy hell. Well, welcome, Commune. That's a heck of a raid there. Appreciate it. Uh, my name's Yelk. I'm just a bit of a small-time crafter. You might remember me from Desert Bus. I did the Legend of Zelda Hyrulean Shield blanket. And I was just in the process here of making a bisexual pride drawstring bag for my dice, for my D&D campaign. So, oh yeah, and the year before I did the Magic the Gathering guilds and clans coasters. So yeah, if you like assorted crafts, maybe give me a follow. But of course, thanks again there, Cameron. Really appreciate it. So yeah, we're just finishing this off right here by making up a drawstring. Oop. Little flustered by this. Not gonna lie. So watch me fail to make a basic knot real quick. So I'm just making a little slip knot here on my needle. I'm working with a nice bamboo viscose because I like to use all natural products. And to make a drawstring for these sorts of bags, I just like to create a nice long chain stitch. And usually it'll depend on what sort of bag I'm making, how large I make this. Sometimes I'll actually even use 2 or 3 widths of yarn in order to give it extra bulk. But for this, I think just a nice simple chain will work. Oh yeah, Princess, I've been streaming for a few months now. I've got a few VODs up. A lot of mini painting. I paint Warhammer minis. For a while there, I still have to finish this up, but it's a wood burning I've done. I've got a laser cutter that I like to cut out various line arts on and paint those in. Do crochet, I do all sorts of things. I actually compiled a list of all of my various hobbies from welding and crochet and sewing and quilting, all of that good stuff together, and found that currently I have 36 crafting hobbies that I have done in the past 5 years. So I've been labeled as a real-life omni-crafter before. Oh, hey, Julie. Yeah, it's that ADHD life. Never happy just doing one thing. We even got our friend in the community, Kitty, to add that. Hopebot there into my stream, so now our commands work here. So yeah, this week Yelk is metallurgy. Not the best use of the algorithm there, but I have done a fair bit of aluminum and copper smelting and a little bit of forging. Really want to get more into that this winter, since I'm going to be running the propane burners out in the garage while I do laser work anyways. Might as well, you know, use that heat for something. Oh, GG, please. For every craft I've finished, there's 5 more sitting unfinished. It just happens to be that I do a lot more crafts than the average person, so, you know. I believe in you. You'll get to it when the mood strikes you. And you remember they exist. So let's go ahead. And test out how far in we can pull this cord. How much more we have to go. Nothing like testing in production, right? Yeah, you should, if it weren't for the fact that my office were so dirty right now, I would pan the camera over to show you my shelf of partially painted Warhammer minis. I've probably got a full combat patrol and a half of Space Marines. Some AdMech, a whole bunch of Necrons, and a few other things that are all done up in chrome right now and need washing and detailing. But yeah, it's oof. The process is never ending. And then of course I go looking at the Games Workshop website like, ooh, but look at that Hexmark destroyer. Alright, actually I think we're pretty good on this here chain. So what we're gonna do is give it a good snip. And then just pull it through. There we go. Ignore all of the little tails that need to be woven in. But there we go. A nice little drawstring bag. And thankfully we have the darning needle right here so we can even start working this in. Oh yeah, NIDS too. That's some of the stuff I'm working on right now. I've got these guys I'm doing up in Hive Fleet Hydra colors. So far they've gotten the base blue, dry brush in sky blue, and some dioxazine purple as a wash. So I just need to do up a bunch of their carapaces in red. I've already gotten enough of them done for a kill team, but I want to get the full combat patrol. Yeah, I've got, I want to say, about 15 spine fists done, uh, or in the process of getting done. They're constructed. 10 devours, and I've got another box I want to turn into flesh borers. And then, of course, all my gene stealers and stuff like that. It's a never-ending process. You want to know how many games I've actually gotten to play? Big ol' zero. All of my friends are all way too busy outside of our twice a month D&D game to actually play any kill team. I mean, frankly, it's impressive enough that we were able to actually get a D&D game going. Oh, I was not paying attention to my dashboard also. Thank you, Princess Intel, Skip Lives, Lysander Salamander, Augur Bow, GG G Godo Paste, and MTG Ranger for the follows. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm a bit new to this whole streaming thing, so bear with me on a lot of stuff, but I stream 2 or 3 times a week, mostly painting and crafts. Might branch out to gaming eventually, but who knows. So yeah, just working these ends in. One of the things with crochet is that um, unlike other forms of fiber work like tatting, you don't actually form any knots throughout this. So if any of this fiber ever gets cut, it will completely unravel. There's nothing stopping it from unraveling. So when you tie off a knot at the end of your work or when you're swapping colors, if that knot ever comes undone, well, the whole thing's gonna unravel. Plain and simple. Might take longer if you work with a very tight stitch, um, but one way or another, it will come undone. So you don't want to trim your ends close to the knot because that's just going to guarantee that eventually it will come undone. So what instead you do is you keep a long tail and you weave it in to your work about an inch or two, depending on how loose of a stitch you have. And then you trim it there so that, you give it a tug. It's not going to come out of your work, but it's also not going to be close to your knot, so it's never going to come undone. Tell you what, that Legend of Zelda blanket I did. Each of those squares was an individual piece. Every pixel in that was individual, which meant that so there were 625 squares in that. That means I had not only two um, and two tails for each square to tie in, so 1,250 tails that way. I also had to stitch in between each of those squares, so 4 for each side. So 2,500 additional tails for stitching those all together to weave in. It was trying, to say the least. There's a reason that blanket took 120 hours to make. Thankfully, this project is much smaller. We started it this stream, and we should be able to end it this stream. Didn't split my thread again. Yeah, I've got like 100 of these cheap little needle threaders. Not a single one of them in arm's reach right now. That will have required thinking ahead now, won't it? Thanks, bud. Again, appreciate y'all for stopping by. Hope you like what you're watching. I know that feeling. Before streaming, I would always do my crafting to the sounds of somebody else crafting. just could not find enough of it for my taste. And if y'all aren't big fans of K-pop, don't worry. I have a very strange taste in music. You tune in, you won't be sure whether I'm going to be listening to K-pop, reggae, 90s gangster rap, Mozart. It's all over the place. So who knows what I'll be listening to come Thursday. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can't find something to toss in here. How about a handful of paints? Kind of give it the being used effect. See how well it holds all this. Oh, there we go. I don't know about y'all, but I'd say that is a successful craft. You know, personally, I like to live by like the Tinker Tailor Solder Fry methodology. Let's try. I don't go into any craft thinking I'm going to finish this and I'm going to do this perfectly. Every day I just see, can I get it done? And today we did it. We've got a nice little dice bag. Alright, well normally I sign off around 8 here, so again, thanks y'all for raiding. Let's see if I can't toss you at somebody else cool that'll be going for a bit longer. Oh, uh, Yisbird Games, you might know them through Jacob, uh, Jacob Burgess. Looks like they're about to play some Hollow Knight, so that sounds pretty cool. So, gonna toss them their way. Again, uh, thanks for stopping by. Hope you follow. Hope you have a good rest of your night. And, you know, do something good for yourself and do something good for others. Alright, talk to y'all later.